Hola a todos.
¿Estás listo?
Yeah, I'm good. Mike, you're getting to your pose. Yeah, as long as you got one leg up right now, very good. How you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miguel Flores, PBC ring announcer, and I want to welcome all the media and fans here in attendance for our press conference as we welcome you here to the Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada, as we get you set for a triple header live on Showtime for an all action-packed card here from the Theater Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada, in the fight capital of the world. It is headlined by Erickson, the Hammer, Lubin, as he takes on rising contender Sebastian, the Towering Inferno, Fundora, in a 12th round for the interim WBC Super Welterweight Championship. That is our main event. In our co-main event, we have the return of former WBC Super Welterweight Champion Tony Superbad Harrison as he takes on Sergio El Nino Garcia in a 10-round Super Welterweight clash. And then obviously opening up our telecast, we have Brian Goodfella Perella as he faces undefeated Kevin Salgado in a very tough 10-round Super Welterweight bout. Once again, it will be live on Showtime this Saturday night, April 9th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. And of course, it is all promoted by TGB Promotions, as we see the Vice President here in attendance, Brittany Goosen Brown. And it is also promoted by Samson Boxing. Samson Lukowitz also here in attendance. That man has one of the best eyes for talent in boxing today. Of course, tickets for the live event are still on sale. You can get your tickets at axis.com. That is AXS.com. Once again, you can still get your tickets there. All right, we're going to open things up, starting off with our opening bout that will kick things off. Brian Goodfella Perella, who's coming in at 17 victories, 14 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats in 1 draw, as he's taking on Kevin Salgado, who is undefeated 14-0 with 9 wins by knockout in a 10-round super welterweight bout. And now I'll turn things over to our fighters. And first off with you, Bryant Perella, as we look to you, you fought a man that is also here on this stage in your last bout, Tony Superbad Harrison, who is going to be featured in our co-main event, and we'll get to him in just a few moments. That fight ended up in a draw. What did you think of that performance? First off, did you feel like you won that fight? And what did you learn about that going up against a former world champion?
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of this event. Showtime, TGB Promotions, Al Heyman, for getting me on this platform. The Tony Harrison fight was amazing. It was, a great experience for me. I've only learned so much and evolved into a whole nother fighter since that fight, and because of that fight, Tony Harrison's a heck of a fighter, and he should get any flack for how that fight went. I'm a very difficult person to be in the ring with, and I'll be looking to show that Saturday night.
One thing I don't think people realize is your resume is pretty stacked with a lot of notable names. You're someone that has been willing to fight a lot of guys that the boxing world knows very well. I mean, you fought Yordenis Ugas, who is now the current WBA welterweight champion, who we'll see on Showtime pay-per-view next week, against Errol Spence Jr. You have fought, obviously, the former world champion, Tony Superbad Harrison, Abel Ramos, another notable name in the welterweight division. What is it about you always wanting to fight the toughest opponent you can get your hands on?
Look, I don't shy away from a challenge. I look forward to tough fights. Win, lose, or draw, I learn and I grow from each and every endeavor I'm in. Every fight that I'm in, I'm just going to continue to progress and evolve as a new fighter. Losses don't get to me. They just make me more hungry to come back better and stronger to prove everybody that, I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and I'm going to keep getting better and better each and every fight.
Now we see your trainer, who's here in attendance, one of the all-time greats in boxing history, Roy Jones Jr. What have you learned from him? I know he helped you in your last fight against Tony Harrison, and now you've had more time to train with him and learn from one of the greatest of all time. How has that experience been so far?
It's been a mind-blowing experience since the day I've walked into the gym. Roy is, he's a genius in his field. And for me, I feel like a kid in a candy store because I'm learning something new every single day. It's really crazy. Like every time I'm done training with him, my mind is tired. Like my brain needs to recover. So it's really incredible experience being with him, and it's exciting to train because it's always going to be something new, and I'm always going to keep growing with that kind of teacher in my corner. I mean, the sky's the limit.
And now we'll turn things over to your opponent, who's undefeated, 14-0 with 9 knockouts. Fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, but he is from Mexico City. We have our translator, Martin Batard, here who will be translating for Kevin. And first off, Kevin, you are the younger brother of former super featherweight champion Juan Carlos Salgado. This is your first bout on Showtime here in the U.S. What can fans expect to see from you here this Saturday night?
Bueno, tu hermano mayor, Juan Carlos, es un campeón. Ahora, ¿cuál va a ser tu misión en esta pelea? ¿Cuál va a ser tu objetivo para que puedas empezar a crear tu propio legado aquí en Las Vegas?
Hola a todos, gracias por venir. Estoy muy emocionado por estar aquí. La misión es salir con la mano en alto en esta pelea y empezar mi carrera como una grande estrella en Estados Unidos.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. I'm so excited to be facing this fight, facing this challenge. I feel more prepared than ever. And the goal is to create my own legacy and to become a star here in the United States.
Now, obviously, as I mentioned, your brother, a world champion. What was that like seeing him and his journey to become a world champion? And what has he told you? What have you learned from him? And what it takes to become a world champion at the top of the sport?
Obviamente cuando uno es el hermano menor y ve al hermano mayor lograr el objetivo máximo del boxeo, debiste haber estado súper orgulloso. ¿Te dio algún consejo? ¿Qué te dice él de cara a esta pelea?
Sí, estoy muy orgulloso, muy emocionado de llegar a estas grandes ligas, grandes funciones de boxeo. Y la meta es llegar a ser campeón del mundo como él, no de 2 títulos, sino de los 4 títulos. Él está en mi esquina, me apoya en lo táctico, físico y mentalmente me apoya siempre.
My older brother is in my corner and he supports me both on the physical, mental and boxing aspects of everything. He gives me great advice and I want to surpass what he did. I want to win not just 2 titles but all 4. I want to be undisputed. I want to be a star here in the US and that starts now.
And now, obviously, I'm going to ask both of you guys, prediction Saturday night, first with you, Brian. What do you see happening Saturday night?
Whether it ends in knockout, 10 rounds, 20 rounds, it doesn't matter. I'll be looking to put on a spectacular and dominating performance since the beginning of the first bell.
And same question to you, Kevin. What's your prediction this Saturday?
Bueno, Kevin, el vaticinio para este sábado, ¿qué va a pasar? ¿Ganás por nocaut? ¿Ganás por puntos? ¿Cómo la ves?
Se esperen una gran pelea, vamos a salir victoriosos y posiblemente llegue el knockout.
You're gonna have to expect fireworks. It's gonna be quite a show. And who knows? You may have to expect a knockout.
Well, there you heard it. That's our opening bout live on Showtime Championship Boxing, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Now we'll move over to our co-main event. Sergio El Nino Garcia, 33-1 with 14 wins by knockout, as he takes on the former world champion Tony Superbad Harrison, 28-3-1 with 21 victories by knockout in a 10-round super welterweight bout. First, starting things off with you, Sergio. You suffered your first defeat in a very tight bout against the man that is right next to you, who is headlining this bout as well, Sebastian Fundora. That was your first fight in the U.S. On Showtime. What did you think of your performance against Fundora, and what did you learn about yourself?
Bueno, Sergio, tu debut en Estados Unidos, tu debut por Showtime, terminó también contigo perdiendo el invicto ante el que está al lado tuyo, Fundora. ¿Cuál es tu conclusión? ¿Qué pensaste de esa pelea? ¿Qué lecciones aprendiste de cara a este nuevo desafío?
Bueno, yo creo que saqué todo lo positivo, ¿no? Que fue entrar en Estados Unidos, hacer una gran pelea con Sebastián y afincarnos aquí, ¿no? Y repetir y ahora hacer con un ex campeón mundial tener otra oportunidad.
I took only positives from my fight against Fundora. He and I fought a great fight. I learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I plan to apply them now in my second time around. I'm going to be fighting a former world champion, so I'm going to take that experience, take it into a positive, and be even better on Saturday night.
You said that you've always wanted to fight the best in this division, and you certainly did that when you fought Fundora, and now you're fighting another top contender in this division, former world champion, and Tony Harrison. What would a win over Tony Harrison do for your career?
Vos siempre dijiste, quiero pelear contra los mejores, lo estás demostrando. Peleaste contra Fundora, ahora vas a ir en busca de Harrison. ¿Qué significaría una victoria este sábado para vos, para tu carrera, para lo que querés conseguir?
Bueno, yo ya he dicho desde el primer momento que no rehuyo pelea, que yo peleo con el que me pongan y quiero pegarme con los mejores, ¿no? De eso se trata, de estar en esta liga, y Samson me está dando las oportunidades y yo quiero cumplir. La pelea con Harrison para mí es como... Me lo tomo como Harrison cuando estuvo con Charlo, como un campeonato mundial, porque el futuro de mi familia, de mi esquina y de mi carrera depende de la victoria de esta pelea.
I've said from the beginning, I don't run or shy away from any kind of fights. Fortunately, Samson Likovic, he gives me the best opportunities. So I feel lucky to have him on my side. As far as the objective against Harrison, I'm going to take it just as he did against Charlo. Like, for me, this is a world championship fight. My legacy, my family's future, my own future depends on the outcome of this fight.
Thank you, Sergio. And now we turn the attention to your opponent. Obviously, from Detroit, Michigan, Tony Superbad Harrison, the only man to defeat current unified super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo, and Now you are looking to get back to the top of the division. Tony Harrison, it's been slightly less than a year since you fought Bryant Perella, who's on this stage, as we mentioned earlier before. What did you learn in that fight that turned into a draw? And what is it going to take for you to get back to the top of this division?
I mean, for me, it was just a fight. I think I probably took the fight a little too soon for me losing my pops and shit like that. Like my mind wasn't really, and it was just like a go fight. And I think I rushed it probably a little too fast. And Brian Perella took the opportunity to come up and weight, not have to lose weight, and come in as strong as possible. And have Roy in his corner. I think everything worked for him for sure. I thought it was a tight outing. I thought I probably pulled it off, but like I said, the experience for me was no different from any other. I fought plenty of southpaws. I fought tough opponents, and I don't think that I really learned anything in the fight, but just take my time. Some of these bitches don't know how to take their time because they rush and lose fights, and then want to do one little whole shit, little bitch ass nigga. And the little bitch ass niggas don't know how to sit back and wait. And then little bitch want to wait and then want to lose and still want to talk about shit that. And then nigga want to lose and still talk about motherfucker fighting. Shit. Oh yeah, but. Yeah, you a fucking lame ass nigga. You a lame ass nigga.
I did not know that was 2 years, bro.
Let's leave it to the fighters here on this stage, people. Let's wait for Saturday night. And let's leave it. We got Tony Harrison. He is fighting Sergio Garcia. He's not fighting here. I know there's.
He's lucky I missed. He fucking lucky I missed. But
let's turn our attention, Tony, as we had that little.
He's fucking lucky I be sick of these bitch ass niggas, man. Like respect is just I'm swear to God, if it ain't gonna be given to me, I'm gonna take that shit. Man, from here on out, my nigga, it's just it ain't no money involved, ain't none of the bullshit involved. If you ain't gonna give me the respect, I'll take it.
Turning the attention back to Sergio, Tony. As we saw, you mentioned, your father passed away. He was your head trainer for a long time, and now your brother LJ took things over. It was your first fight. I know he's been in the gym with you. He's always been there in your corner, but that was his first time being the head trainer. How has that boxing relationship developed over the past year?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like it's like a family business relationship is so fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's super hard, man. It's almost guaranteed that you in whatever relationship you got with your family is gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up. So you gotta be like fucked up in the head to fuck some shit up that's already not fucked up. You know what I mean? Like me and my brother, we grew up together, man. But the business part of the aspect of the sport that we in, we clash head a lot. You know what I mean? And so from time to time, it takes us out of our business to being brothers. You know what I mean? So, but it's all cool though, man. For this sport in general, you got to be strong-minded, strong-willed, and strong-minded. Period. So that's nothing that we don't never get over, man. We always kiss and make up. But for me, man, it's just always for me having somebody in the corner that knows me, I know them, that love me, I love them. I think it's like I wouldn't have nobody else in my corner. I think just for this fight in general. My brother is more of a muscle kind of guy. Like he more of a guy that's gonna tell me and get to me because he know how to get to me. He know how to talk to me. He know how to say the shit that need to be said to push me harder. But I think for this fight that's a little different. I brought in brother Fareed, who knows the sweet science of the sport, who was able to add in some of the stuff that my brother was missing. Like I said, I got the muscle and the teacher. Like I said, brother Fareed already touched base on stuff that I already knew from my father. But it just, sometimes we tend to forget, or we tend to get sidetracked on what the basis is, on the aspect of the sweet science part, and just bringing Brother Fareed in just kind of brought that back to my attention. And I got the muscle and the brains. I don't think I can be beat.
What's your prediction? And we'll ask Sergio after you answer. What's your prediction this Saturday night?
You know, used to be talking no shit. He ain't gonna understand it. So just win, man. Find a way to win, man. The name of the game is just win. My uncle always tell me, I don't give a fuck how you do it, just win. So that's the name of the game, man. Just win. Like I said, man. I think this motherfucker that I know nothing about is probably one of the toughest opponents that I probably could have chosen. You know what I mean? Coming off a draw, and I think choosing a guy like that who just fought the guy that was everybody then there was afraid of the fight and took that man to the fucking wire. And I'm like, oh, that's a good gauge. And I like this lineup in general, the whole card all the way through. Everybody's in the same weight, and it's just a way for us to gauge each other. It's a way for me to look at Lubin and Fundora and be like, damn, okay, I see this, I see that. It's a way for them to look at us and say the same thing. It's a way for them to look at so it's just a way for us to be competitive in the same weight class and us to gauge each other. And like I said, man, the best man gonna win. The one that's best prepared gonna win all the way through. But it's an amazing card from top to bottom, and the best man gonna win all the way through.
And to you, Sergio, what's your prediction this Saturday night?
Bueno, Sergio, primero que nada, Tony decía que él está muy entusiasmado por pelear contra vos por el hecho de que fuiste hasta el final contra Fundora, un oponente al que parece que todos le tienen miedo, ¿no? Y entonces ahora la pregunta de Miguel es, ¿cuál es tu vaticinio para esta pelea contra un rival que claramente te respeta mucho?
Bueno, yo siempre digo, ¿no?, que no puedo prometer la victoria siempre que uno lo dice de boca, ¿no? Hay que subir y demostrarlo. Y yo vengo a pelear, yo vengo a por la victoria, ¿no? En el boxeo puede pasar de todo, pero yo entreno por y para ganar y esa es mi intención. Seguro que él también. También quiero decir que no sé lo que le habrá pasado con ese chico porque no entiendo el idioma, pero que le tiene muy enfadado y que los protagonistas del sábado somos Tony Harrison y Sergio García. Chan, ok,
Yes.
que no sé más rato, que nosotros somos los protagonistas, nos toca a nosotros ahora.
Alright, so let's do this in two parts, okay? So first of all, Tony, Sergio respects you so much and he knows that you are a great champion and he wants you to know that whatever happened with that guy, he doesn't understand English obviously, so he didn't quite understand what was going on exactly, but he wants everybody to know that the protagonists of this fight are you and him, nobody else. So that whatever happened, he wants everyone to know that he's the one fighting you. And as far as the prediction, Sergio is like, I could tell you that I want to win, but what's that worth? I have to show it inside the ring, where my preparation, my training is always with the objective to win. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
My last thing with this, it's so fucking hard to fight guys like him, man. They such good people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he trying to butter you up, and I know he trying to butter me up and give me the love a little bit. But my name of the game is just to win. But it's so hard to fight guys like him, like humble and all, man. I like guys like that just aren't like they get my respect all the way through, and like a class A act, but don't butter me up though before the fight.
Muchas gracias por los elogios, pero que tampoco lo elogies tanto, porque después es difícil pelear contra vos, ¿no? Dice que sos un tipo humilde, que sos un tipo de una clase altísima y que te respeta mucho, pero que bajemos un poquito con los elogios, porque si no, se pone difícil el asunto, ¿no?
Dile que tranquilo, que nos vamos a perder el respeto durante 10 rounds y luego seremos amigos, pero en 10 rounds nos vamos a dar leña.
Oh, don't worry, take it easy, because he's gonna lose all respect for you during 10 rounds, then we can be friends again, okay?
That's what you love to see in our co-main event, 10 rounds this Saturday night here. Once again, Sergio Nino Garcia taking on Tony Superbad Harrison, our co-main event. Now we go to our main event, and one thing I love, it's a super welterweight card, and boxing fans all around want to see the best fighting the best. And one thing I love is this is one of the deepest, if not the deepest division in all of boxing, as you're seeing here. And the best are fighting the best in this division. Tony Harrison, as we mentioned, fought Jermell Charlo twice. Erickson Lubin has also fought Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's fighting Brian Castano to become the undisputed champion of the division. Sebastian Fundora fought Sergio Garcia not too long ago. And now, Sebastian the Towering Inferno and Erickson the Hammer Lubin are going head-to-head in our main event this Saturday night. I can't wait. I remember when Showtime and PBC rolled out their spring and summer slate. This was a fight that a lot of boxing fans were talking about because it is one of those true toss-up fights between Fundora and Lubin, and I cannot wait for them to get in the ring this Saturday night. First off with you, Sebastian Fundora, as you look forward, you have the biggest fight of your career ahead of you. How important is this for you against a guy like Erickson Lubin, who has won 6 in a row?
It's extremely important, you know. Thank you for everybody coming to this event. I'm glad that everybody's recognizing it as a big fight, especially this year with all the fights going on. But I'm very excited to be here, and I just want to put on a good show this Saturday.
What does it mean? You've been on many cards with Premier Boxing Champions. As you see, your promoter, Samson Lukowitz, who, again, he always kept telling us, you know, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this guy. You know, even when you were fighting on non-TV portions of the cards, and then you slowly moved your way up, you were co-main events, and now you are headlining here on Showtime. What does that mean to you to be in your main event?
It just shows that hard work pays off, you know. All these fighters, we all grew up at the same time, and me and Lubin, both growing up in Florida, it's nice to be recognized and to show that all the hard work pays off eventually.
Now, when you're facing a guy like Erickson Lubin, he has really hit his stride over the last few fights. He's extremely athletic. How do you plan to cut off his mobility in the ring?
I'm not going to say in front of everybody. I'm just going to do what I do on TV. You know, we figure it out on Saturday night.
And I will turn to your opponent, Erickson Hammer Lubin, as you have not let the loss against Jermell Charlo define your career. You have come back and won, knocking down top contender after top contender, 6 straight, and now you are on the precipice of getting back to a world title opportunity. This is for the interim WBC super welterweight belt. What have you learned about yourself over the last several years and winning 6 straight?
I've always knew I'll be right back to, you know, title contention. You know, I just dared to be great early. You know, I tried to, you know, unthrown Charlo at an early age. You know, I was like 22 years old. I just had turned 22 years old. And, you know, I was just daring to be great. But I always knew I'd be right back in this position. I always knew I'd be one of the top dogs. You know, I was in that fight. I was in that fight with Charlo with just 3 years of experience as a pro. And now, you know, that it's been almost 5 years since that fight. So my experience only just gets better and better. And I only get better every time I step in that ring. And, you know, I want to show that I'm the best at 154 pounds. And, you know, get into that fraternity of the pay-per-views and the highest paydays. So that's why I'm doing it. Yes.
How have you assessed a guy like Sebastian Fundora in his past performances? And I'm sure you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, have been watching a lot of tape. How have you assessed him, and how does that matchup shape up for you?
I mean, we don't underestimate nobody. You know, he's a tall stature of a guy. You know, he's 6'6", 6'7", whatever they want to list him at. But, you know, I think skills pay the bills. You know, we go into camp and we draw up a game plan, and on fight night we execute it to, you know, our best ability. And, you know, he's a good fighter. He comes in shape. But like I said, skills pay the bills.
Now, I know you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, you know, from Orlando, Florida, but you moved your camp to Las Vegas here. And first off, why the change? And in training camp, how have you been able to prepare? I mean, Sebastian Fundora, he's 6'6" at 154 pounds. Were you able to find, you know, sparring similar to mimic the style a little bit, because that is such a unique build?
Yeah, well, we got away because we wanted to be isolated, wanted to be away from, you know, friends, family, no distractions. You know, I leave the gym and I go straight to my room, putting on film, putting on the grades myself. You know, Fundora, I study my tape. But you know, Kevin's a mastermind in this game. You know, he's dealt with multi-world champions. He's dealt with, you know, just some of the greatest fighters in our era. So, you know, I plan to be no different. I plan to come here and do great things. And Saturday night, you know, it's just, you know, the start. It's been started. You know, we just continuing it. It's our legacy.
First off for you, Fundora, prediction, Saturday night, first main event, live on Showtime Championship Boxing. How do you see it playing out?
Oh, we're just here to win. That's all whatever way it was, like Tony Erickson said, whatever way it is, we're just here to win.
Same question to you, Hammer.
I'm here to make a statement. I'm here to win in dominant fashion.
There you heard it from our main event. And now we'll turn things over to our media members. We have the microphone that will be passed around, so just please raise your hand, state your name and what outlet you are with, and feel free to ask any of the fighters up here your question.
Thanks, Miguel. Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. My question is for Erickson. Erickson, how you doing? Can you learn from something that Tony himself did in that, you know, he was stopped in a title fight and then didn't let that deter him and came back and became a world champion?
Well, for sure. I learned from not just my own loss, but I learned from other people's losses, for sure. But, you know, I'm definitely focused on, you know, my focus after the Charlo fight was just getting back to the top. That was the only thing, just getting back to the top and not letting nobody get in the way.
And Tony, could you just speak to maybe how you've seen Erickson come back from that loss and put himself in the position that he's in now?
I honestly don't think it's a guy hotter than him right now. It's a guy that's been on a fucking, like, the motherfucking win after win after win. Like, it's like out of everybody up here, I think everybody had their down spots. Everybody had, like, Sergio and Fundora had a tough fight, a tough out, and I think Lubin, for the stature of opponent that he's been facing, that's been like he's been stellar. He's been stellar. I talk some shit to him every now and then, but you know, right now I'm gonna give him his props. Like, he been stellar. Like, dude been stellar. His training been stellar. His trainer been talking. I talk more shit to his trainer, but his trainer been talking shit. And but they been walking and talking, man. And I like applaud them. Hats off to them. You know what I'm saying? And they here for a reason. And like I said, best man gonna win Saturday night between him and Fundora. It's gonna be an amazing fight. I'm there as a fan too.
Hi, Ernesto Amador from El Universal and Opus Jugar Boxeo. I have a question for Sebastian and then Sergio Garcia. Sebastian, they call you the Tower Inferno. Could you tell that this fight is going to be infernal, and why is that?
I can guarantee that this fight's going to be an inferno because we have the number 1 and number 2 fighting for the WBC. The next one after this, we're going to be fighting the champion for sure. So we're going to put everything and our all into this fight, and we're going to give you guys a great main event.
So you promise an infernal fight?
I can promise that. I can guarantee you it.
Okay, Sergio, hablando del momento de España, Sergio, regarding the Spain moment, regarding boxing, how's the feeling? ¿Cómo te sientes de ser parte de esta nueva era del boxeo español? How is the feeling to be part of this new era of Spanish boxing?
Bueno, pues estoy muy contento, ¿no? ¿Qué te voy a decir? Estoy para mí en la primera liga y quiero quedarme aquí y así lo quiero demostrar. Yo creo que lo demostré con Sebastian y bueno, hicimos una gran pelea y ahora lo voy a demostrar con Tony.
The fact that I get to represent Spain in such a stage, being here in the major leagues of boxing, is something that doesn't stop being amazing. So I want to show everybody that I have staying power in the major leagues. I think I proved it against Sebastian. I plan to prove it again on Saturday night. So you all are going to have to just wait and see what I have in store for you.
Right here, Steven Godino, Carolina Sports. My question is for you, Erickson. Obviously, Sebastian's really tall. When was the last time you faced someone maybe with this much of a height disparity? I don't know, maybe amateurs or.
I fought maybe my 15th fight or something like that. His name was Daniel Sandoval. Fought him. He was like 6'3" almost. You know, pretty tall dude. But you know, I've been in the ring with all types of people. You know, I've been sparring guys 6'6". You know, I've been sparring with Jamonte Clark as well. You know, shouts out to him because, you know, he put his pride to the side. He's one of the top 154 pounders. Came to camp with me, and we put in tremendous work. You know, I had another dude from out here in Vegas. He's about 6'6", so, you know, the height don't mean much to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Skip Brown from Dante's Boxing Nation by way of Aki TV. This question is for both Lubin and Fundora. Do you think that either you're capable of knocking out the other?
Who goes first? He said Lubin or Fundora. Of course, I got dynamite in both hands. I think anybody I get in the ring with, I'm capable of putting them out. You know, but we got a game plan drawn up. We ready to go 12 rounds or we ready to get the stoppage. It don't matter. We here to win.
Same goes for me too. You know, I have power in both hands too. I trust my power, and you know, if it goes to decision, like we said before, it does. But if it goes with a knockout, even better.
That's it, Miguel.
All right, that is all our questions. We look forward to a fantastic night this Saturday. We're going to have our fighters pose for a photo. And if we could just clear the chairs out of the way, we will have our weigh-ins tomorrow. And then Saturday night from the theater at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, Showtime Championship Boxing, Premier Boxing Champions are bringing you an all-action-packed card. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. We look forward to seeing you all watching and attending.
I was like, oh no, that's
With the height
so
thing,
cool.
that's why the height, that's that's why, do you like pizza? Or you?
Yeah, well, the first two questions we were talking about, I was like, oh, cool.
Down in front. Martin. Down, please. Go sit down. Down. All right, guys, turn and face the front. Cameras in the back first. Mirando a las cámaras de atrás. Cameras right down here now.
Let's go, good fella.
You guys got it? Hang tight, we're going to do a group shot at the end.
Ahora que quédate ahí en el escenario un rato, no, ahí.
Sergio? Alright guys, turn and face the camera. Camera on the back first.
La de atrás primero.
Camera's down here now. Thank you guys. Just hang out and do a group shot at the end. Erickson. Good. Sebastian, one closer. Have it, Tom.
Let's go, Hannah. Hey, Hannah.
Go to work. All right, guys. Cameras in the back first. From the top. Down here now.
Strong as hell. Yeah.
Guys got it. Stay right there. Sergio. Over here. Ryan. Tony. Right here. Right there. And everyone just look in the back first. Cameras down here too, please. Got us there. Thank you very much.
Roll in Yeah, I know. I know you.
All right, Lubin's on that side if anyone needs Lubin.
All right, cool.
find really exciting? How was training and preparation?
Training was really good. Preparation was good. He's like a sponge. He always soaks up everything I offer for him. So he makes me dig deeper into my little tricks because he picks up stuff so fast.
And more importantly, knowing about the opponent as a great fighter, what do you guys know? And is this going to be an easier fight or tougher fight? Just coming towards this point in his career.
In my opinion, nothing's ever easy. It's like it's kind of two different optics here. The guy's undefeated, so he has to be broken. Yet I don't think he's quite as good a fighter as Tony Harrison because he has experience. So there's two different things you got to do. You got to break the mentality and show him that we know that has to end here. Yet at the same time, maybe a tad more explosive. I know he's not the experienced or the mental aspect of the game. He's not what Tony Harrison is.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he's a young, hungry, undefeated fighter. He's coming from his American dream, but it's our job to break that confidence beginning of the first bell. Looking like we have the experience and a very difficult style to deal with. You know, with Roy, he's the master. He's got great ring advice, corner advice. I mean, he's going to see everything, and we're going to execute.
Even though they ruled the fight against Harrison a draw, do you have more confidence now than before you entered that fight, being that, you know, most people thought you won?
Yes, absolutely. I was very confident going into that fight, knowing that I'd be bigger, better, stronger in this weight class. But going through that fight with Harrison, it only made me so much more as a fighter. I'm involved so much. I'm a completely different animal even since then. So I'm looking forward to showcasing that.
Roy, have you noticed the difference in Perla's confidence in the gym after the good showing with Harrison?
No, let me tell you why. First of all, with the confidence going into the Harrison fight, it was out of this world because you come off here and stop by welterweight. You never went 12 rounds in your life. You never trained Roy Jones in your life. You take Tony Harrison, how much more confidence do you think a man can have? You understand me? So coming off of that to fight the guy who just was last time out, he went in the ring as a champion, showed me tremendous confidence. So the biggest part was that I understood it right at that point that he believed in me and everything I said. So it made me also believe in him. So after the fight, it was like I just wanted him not to lose the confidence he had because of the decision. You know, we can't control that. We did what we were supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Whether they give it to us or not, we can't control it. But we did what we were supposed to. So many people came to him after the fight and said, bro, you shot everybody here. Nobody had you going past 3 to 4 rounds. You understand? We knew that. And they didn't know we knew that, but we knew that. Right. But we knew it was going to also not only be past 3 or 4 rounds, it wasn't going to be what they thought it was going to be at the end either. Right. And by doing that in a competitive manner, both of us being competitive minded because he took the challenge. And when he took it, he said, you think it's too much? How can I back down? He ain't back down, so who am I to back down? You feel what I'm saying? Hey, you with the GOAT for a reason. You with the GOAT. How can anything be too much for us? Let's get it. And we came together and we got it. So it's like, it's been such a dream come true to have a guy that can soak up so much and take what he soaks up and uses it. Because a lot of guys you teach it to, but most of them have a hard time taking it from the gym to the ring. He takes everything from the gym, from the locker room, from the hotel room. He takes it all to the ring, and that's the most important.
Who do you guys see winning the main event?
Well, that's not our thing. I really don't care who wins the main event. I mean, I like Lubin because I know him. He's from Florida, and I would hope he would be successful with it. But I can't really be here taking sides right now. This is my
right
fight.
now, I ask because it could be a future opponent.
We love it.
Anyone on the card, really.
We don't really. That's the whole point. Everybody on the undercard, I mean, is a future opponent. So it's like we're not looking at one guy. We can't single nobody out. Whoever get a belt, that's what we looking for.
Speaking of belts, one guy's about to have all 4 of them May 14th.
We want him to.
Right.
Hey, listen, when they said the fight fell out because something happened to him, I called and said, hey, Brian will take the fight. Brian will take his place. They're like, no, we can't do that. We have problems with the organization. I said, okay, but he's willing and ready to fight whoever. So that's what was your question?
My question was, what was my question? Oh, how does the size of a fighter like Fundora, people can't, like the average boxer that you can spar with is not that tall. So how do people train for guys that tall?
Well, you have to do everything as though you're fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Make Kareem Abdul-Jabbar your heavy bag and everything else, you have no problem. But you got to train that way or it'll be something different. You can't come in train to fight Muggsy Bowles and then think you're gonna go to a round with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when you've been punching down at Muggsy and you gotta punch up at Kareem, it's gonna ruin your whole night. So you just gotta be smart about it.
Want some Bruce Lee? Game of Death?
A little bit of that too.
Is Pearl going to come out Roy Jones style the way Eubank Jr. did? He looked like it was the second coming, man.
This is what people don't understand. I don't teach people to be Roy Jones. I teach people to take Roy Jones' mental aspect of it and put it to your DNA. Now, sometimes that kind of look like Roy Jones, maybe, I don't know. But he's southpaw, so it's going to be hard for him to look like Roy Jones, but you're going to see the mental aspect of Roy Jones, I promise you, because he gets it more than 90% of us in my gym.
Let me get your predictions on a couple of fights, if I may. We got Errol Spence and Ugas coming up.
That's a tough fight. I like Errol, but it's a tough fight for both fighters.
How about Devin Haney versus Kambosos?
That's also a tough fight. I like Devin Haney, but Kambosos will be at home, and that's the only thing I'm worried about there.
Shakur and Oscar.
Shakur is very tough. He's a tall order for anybody. Oscar's a very good fighter, but once again, he's a tall order and he's short. So I lean towards Shakur, but it's going to be a tough fight. Oscar's a really good fighter too.
All right, last but not least, Canelo and Bivol.
That's a tough fight. All depends on how the fight goes. If you fight it from the outside, Bivol has a great chance to win the fight. If Canelo smothers him, it'll make it hard for people.
Okay, hold on. I got one more because it's a crazy fight. And there's Rollies and Tank, man. That's just a crazy fight. What's your breakdown on that, man?
Who?
Rollies.
Devontae Davis and
Oh,
Romero.
yeah. I mean, Tank has the experience. I'm going to go with the experience. Rolly's a hard puncher, but Tank has the experience. So I'm thinking Tank will be able to figure that out.
Roy, as a legend in 168 and 175, looking at Canelo's run now, what do you think of it, and how do you beat the Canelo that's out
He's
now?
having a brilliant run. You know, I mean, it's not my job to tell people how to beat him, but I think he's having a brilliant run. I love the run he's on. I just hope that maybe Peter Eubank can get a shot at that run, and we'll see what happens.
Do you think Eubank's right there? Do you think he needs a fight or two more to get
Well, I
to?
mean, of course, he's going to want to fight or two more. They always want to see you to fight or two more, but what I'm trying to tell him is that, first of all, he has a name. You see Canelo versus Eubank, you're going to think, wow, this is good already, right? Second, he has the style, because he's aggressive as hell. And Canelo is also aggressive. C, he has the power to change anything, and so does Canelo. So it's everything you want in a fight. It's just like this fight tonight, where he said he and his opponent both have the power to make anything happen. And this is what you always want to see in a good fight. You want to see guys with power, but also with knowledge. So who can trick who into getting bit by the snake?
Can you just talk about like Brian and Canelo, like and you, like the move up transition, like how different is it, especially when you move up significantly faster?
The only thing that's really difficult for most people, in my opinion, is the one thing he mastered no problem. That's being able to bring your power up to that next big class. If you can't take your power up there, it's a problem. If you can take your power up there, it's no problem. As you think about it, when Canelo went up and fought Kovalev, Canelo seemed like a power puncher, not Kovalev. You understand me? Which was why I always was angry, because I thought with Triple G having power, I didn't see why he could not take his power from 60 to 68 and fight Andre Ward. You know, then his trainer gets mad at me for saying it. Dude, what have you done? Who you beat again? Who the master of this thing? Who covered more pounds than anybody else? And you gonna tell me about somebody being too big? Well, shut up. You know what I mean? Don't play with me. So that's what I'm saying. The big thing is you gotta be able to take a punch. And I thought Triple G was a likely candidate to be able to take that punch up to the next big thing. That's all.
Roy, I remember we spoke in Texas during Canelo Saunders. You had a real passionate answer regarding like Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence and kind of why they haven't fought to this point. Now that Terrence is a free agent, I mean, is there any reason why we shouldn't see that fight in this next year?
Like I said, I feel like this. And you can't lobby for people, but I wish I would have got Terrence Crawford, because I would have got Terrence Crawford and I would say, listen, everybody, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put out here one time only. Here's the deal. If you like it, you take it. If you don't like it, you got to be scared. You got to walk away from the table. Fight has to happen now. You understand me? Same thing I did with Bob Eric and James Tony. When I stepped, Bob Eric said, you got to sign. Nope, I'm not signing with you again. I'm cool with that. I enjoyed you. Thank you for everything you did for me. But I want to be a free agent because I want to make my own deal with HBO. So I'm going to be my own man. Now, give me my part, give him his part, or we can go extra win, extra lose, however y'all want to do it. I'll take my part, let him take his part, because he's the champ, and let's go with it, and may the best man win, right? If you duck that, you're afraid to fight. That's what I would think. So I wish Terrence would have came to join Team Jones, and we got something done. Right. Because that either we got a fight done, or people have said that somebody's scared of fighting. Because that's the fight that needs to happen for boxing right now. Not for them, for boxing.
Speaking of, like you said, being a free agent, it looks like Tank's about to be a free agent. At least that's what he's saying on Twitter. What is that the route maybe he should be doing, kind of Canelo style, like you style, like free agent?
Because he don't need nobody no more. He already has a name. The world knows Tank. The boxing world knows Tank. If Tank fight anybody, people are tuning in to see why. Because Tank label knock you out at any time in the hand. So people love that. That's what makes exciting boxing. It's Mike Tyson style. You either had the Roy Jones style of excitement, or you had the Mike Tyson style of excitement. He has a little bit of both, but he mainly has the Mike Tyson style of excitement because he can touch you at any time with any hand and you can go out. That's it. Right now, I'm focused on Brian. Me and Brian are going to get ready. We're going to make sure Brian is right to take care of this thing the weekend, and we good to go.
You brought up Mike, so I have to ask. I know you took Mike's shots. It was a little older Mike, but I mean, compared to kind of like John Ruiz heavyweights in your time, was he kind of up there, top two, top three?
Most definitely top two.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was up there with him?
Well, there's a couple guys out there with him that were smaller, but as far as the punch goes, he definitely top two.
That's awesome. Roy, thank you so much for your time, sir. Best of luck, man. Best of luck, brother. Yeah.
You might just do one more quick one up top. Just 3 minutes. Keep it tight, okay? 3 minutes, okay?
Oh, beautiful.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Where are the other cups?
Fundora's still here.
Where's? Oh, there he is. Can't miss him.
Nice to see you.
Yeah,
Those
how you
are
doing,
good fighters.
sir?
I know
Good to
they're
see
good
you.
fighters, but other than that, I can't really say anything about him.
I'm going to get a couple of predictions down in real quick. Just give us a breakdown on Charlo versus Castano.
I have Charlo winning. I don't know if it's by knockout, but just seeing his power last time in the last fight, it's going to bring it to this fight again, and he's just going to be too strong.
Okay, next we have Devin Haney versus George Kambosos.
That's a tough fight because Devin Haney's going to Australia. Well, Devin Haney, he can box. He can box really, really good, and I think he's just going to take it to him.
Then we have Tyson Fury versus Dylan White.
Tyson Fury. Yeah, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the division. He beats anybody now, I think.
Okay, the big one. Errol Spence versus Errol Spence versus Ugas. I think I Okay, last but not least, Canelo versus Bivol.
Canelo, just
got one more.
I don't think anybody's going to beat him for a long time.
Well, thanks, man. Here with the big man. Here. I appreciate it.
Had to. Yeah.
Good preference. Yeah, good preference.
You already know I got some fire.
Sebastian, can I get you a little more this way, brother? Thank you, man. All right. Mike, can you check if I'm in there right? Right? Am I good in there? Can you see me?
Audio level. Yeah, you know it's better than me. I
Back
think
up,
it's right there around where your collar is. A little bit lower.
A little better?
No.
Worse?
Let them lower because just your hand.
You got to lower it a little bit.
No, step back. I got you.
Oh, okay.
That's better. Yeah, wait, that's better. JB's in your shot.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Steve Guarino, KOR Sports, right here with Sebastian Fundora. Man, it's the first time I've been next to you, brother. Man, the 6'6" is real, man. You're all of 6'6". Yep. Man, how long? When was the last time you fought someone shorter than you?
My last fight.
I'm sorry, taller than you. That's what I meant to say. Obviously, yeah.
I don't think I ever fought anyone taller than me. Maybe in the amateurs, I fought a guy that was 2'6", just like me. But other than that,
really? So you can never recall fighting anyone having to punch up to anyone, huh?
no, I never had to punch anybody.
Is it? Do you find that as a big advantage of yours? Being that people always say punching upwards is obviously a lot harder than punching downwards.
Some people say that. It's just part of the technique. If you could be tall, just because you're tall doesn't mean you know how to fight. You know, you could put LeBron James in the boxing ring. I could tell already he didn't know how to fight. So it's just if you know how to handle it.
What would you could tell LeBron can't fight? Was he like in a pushing match or something? You could just tell her.
That's no shots. But, I don't think if I would go into a basketball court, you know I can't freaking go ball. You could just look at it and know that. It's just a fighter's mindset. You know, I'm not Texas.
I'm sure you were never picked last in basketball ever. Man, looking at this fight with Erickson, Lubin, It's for the interim title. Obviously, the one guy's about to have all 3 belts. Are you pretty confident with a win over Lubin, with the great run he's been on the last few years, that you're the next guy up for the title?
Definitely. I think if we win this fight, the next fight will be for the title. Whether it's all of them or just one, if they make it all. The next one should be the title.
With the Castaño Charlo rematch, having watched the first fight, who do you think should be more confident going into the fight?
I have Charlo winning this fight, so I would say Charlo. But Castaño did his thing too. So if he comes in and he does what he did last time, maybe a little bit better, he might win too. But I just see the power of Charlo catching forward, and that will make the difference.
Obviously, you want the winner regardless, but stylistic-wise, I mean, Castaño throws like 1,000 punches, like 100 punches around, something like that. Charlo has been in the fight for a while. He's been the man of the division for a while. Which guy would you rather face for your legacy?
I like to fight Charlo because Charlo has more belts right now. He's the one who's been champion for a long time, like you said. It'll be a nice win. And then after we beat him, I like to go fight Castaño.
Awesome. Sebastian, thank you so much for your time, brother. Best of luck, man. Thank you so much.
Can I get a couple questions real quick for boxing? I know you probably want to get to that.
Hey, you know, I already know I got you on the grab.
All right, Sebastian Fundora here with BoxingScene.com, man. You guys are days away from the biggest fight of your young career.
For real,
so
you
far.
do?
What's your mindset heading into, like I said, the biggest fight of your career?
Confident. I feel very confident. Since last week I was ready to go. I could have done my last Saturday.
First question everyone asks is, how can you make weight at your height?
I still make weight. I walk in this one, so it's not a problem for me. It never was a problem. After this, I'm going to go eat big meal.
Oh, nice. So you don't really have to, you don't have a weight cut.
No, you've been through it.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive there.
I keep trying to get better and better.
But I feel you.
Yeah, we never.
I still think you're still alive.
Oh yeah, we're still live. Yeah. No, you're good.
No. Yo, bro, you gonna be around? I'm gonna be at Casa Calaveras.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm rolling with Phelps, so I'm not sure what the game plan is. Yeah, I'll be around here.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
Who's left? Who's really left after this fight?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Good?
gonna get Roy.
Okay.
Do you mind at least just making sure it looks okay? Actually, let me test my light, because my light has been over.
Do you need another
For
light?
a second, fan, please.
Both or just Roy?
Huh? Beneath Roy right now. Yeah, and then I'll do them both.
Probably have you doing both at the same time.
Huh?
Probably have you doing both at the same time.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Do you mind operating this just so I can make sure?
Yeah.
Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
Yeah, get in a little more, Phelps.
Is the lighting okay?
Lighting looks good.
Okay.
All right, you're on.
Hey, my fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with Brian Perella and Roy Jones Jr. Nice to see both of you today. How are you guys doing?
Good. Great.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a bit about the upcoming fight. How was preparation? How was things? This is your second fight together, correct?
The preparation was amazing as always. Learning always from working every day is something new. So, like I said before, I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's just continually learning and growing and evolving as a fighter. So,
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. It's all over, so all the content will be up on YouTube soon. Damien, appreciate the love, I think, I hope, because I don't know the language, so God bless. Hopefully it's cool. Hopefully you're not cursing, because I'm not trying to get copyright struck, my guy. But yeah, thank you guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm covering weigh-ins here, and I'm going to San Antonio Saturday, so stay tuned to your boy all month, because I'm not missing a fight. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Oh, and also don't forget to super chat your boy, because I'm trying to go to Australia, so I need all the help I can get. Thanks.
What do you think of that fight overall?